Hi everybody, it's Triple Play Day here at Missouri Star, and I am here with
Misty
and with
Natalie.
And we are so excited about today's project. We chose the Missouri Star tumbler template to work with. And I know you guys love to see all the different things that we do. And today we're going to start with mine, and that's this quilt behind me right here. First of all, the fabric is darling. I love anything red, white, and blue. It just looks like a giant picnic waiting to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's really
Natalie, how big is this quilt come out? I can't remember.
85 by 89.
So it's a great big nice size quilt. We actually used 2 packages of layer cakes to make this. And so you can fit a good sized family for a picnic on this one. Because why not, right? So to make my quilt, you're going to need 2 packages of 10-inch squares. And we have used Land of Liberty by My Mind's Eye for Riley Blake. Your first inner border, you're going to need 1.5 yards of a corresponding color, and we used white. And we used this fabric right here for our outer border. You'll need 1.25 yards. For our binding, you'll need 3/4 yards. And for the backing, you'll need 8 1/4 yards of vertical seams or 2 3/4 yards of 108. This is the backing, the border, the binding. I also used the Missouri Star large tumbler template. So this is super simple to make. You're going to use 2 packs of 10-inch squares, and 1 whole pack you're going to cut whole tumblers out of. And so we're just going to take this out. And one of the things I love about our templates, is that they are made for the pre-cut. So they fit right on there, you know, edge to edge with very little waste. And so this is going to be our center like this. And we're going to cut it both sides, just like that. And then your second pack, you're going to take the whole pack and you're just stack those up. So out of your second pack of 10-inch squares, we are going to take all of those and we're just going to fold them in half like this. And you're going to do this to each one. Now what this is going to do is it's going to make sure that you have one piece that, you know, slants this way and one piece that slants this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our template and we're going to line up this middle line right here along the edge of our square that's folded in half. So you want to make sure that it's folded exactly, you know, that those lines are meeting up. And then we're just going to lay this on here like this, and we're just going to make one cut, and this piece is going to go over here, and then we will have a piece that goes this way and this way. So see how they both slant differently. So then what we're going to do is we're going to put all of these in a pile as well. So when you start making your blocks, you're going to grab one of these, and you're going to grab 2 different ones of these. So we'll grab one like this and put it on here. And we'll grab one like this. Oh, this one didn't get quite cut. Let me grab that. And we're going to put it on this side over here, this one. So, you know, for those of you that are angly challenged like me, make sure your sides end up straight and that everything just ends up, you know, going the right direction. All right, so Misty, if you will, sew these together.
Absolutely.
And this is one of those templates that you're just going to kind of line it up as close as you can get to the corner. And so it's not a lot of, oh, are you on? There you go. I just want to make sure our sewing machine was on. So this is super easy. Literally, this goes together so fast. Then we're going to flip that around.
Okay.
Natalie, make sure that iron is hot because we're coming to you next.
Awesome. Make sure we're lined up.
Now, even if these get off just a little bit, remember you've got a full 1/4-inch seam to catch them in, so it won't matter if they're just a little bit off.
There we go.
All right, Natalie, if you will iron those out, that would be awesome. Let me move these scissors for you.
Yep, no problem.
So basically, guys, this is our block. You just keep doing this a bunch of times and you're going to have a quilt just like the one behind me. So when we put them together, literally what we're going to do is we're going to line them up like this and just sew them together in these rows right here. And so this secondary block right here, what it does is it makes this little 4-patch looking thing. So let's take a look at this. So here's our whole block here. And then we've got these 2. So you can see the pieces on either side. But then when we line them up as a row, this part right here kind of does a 4-patchy, patchworky kind of thing. And I just think it looks really cool how it comes together. It ends up looking way more scrappy,
yeah,
you know, than we intended, but it's super easy and super quick. And so again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks across the top, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down. And it makes a quilt again, Natalie, that is
85 by 89.
85 by 89. So it's a great size quilt, and I just hope you love my project. It's quick and easy.
It's really cool. I love that you don't have to trim the edges.
Exactly. Right, it makes a straight edge.
Often when you're doing, on mine, when you're doing a tumbler quilt, you just have to cut off that edge to get it to make it straight, and this looks awesome.
Yeah,
it comes together so fast.
We did a little 6-inch border on here, and then this backing. We also used the same fabric for the backing, and this is
so pretty.
It's so pretty, and this quilting pattern,
Star Spangled.
It's Star Spangled, and it's just so cute. Look at it. You can probably see it pretty well in some of the darker colors. Again, on quilting, I tend to choose the lighter color. Go with the lighter color, and that way, it kind of shows as part of the pattern over here, but it doesn't distract in the lighter color. Also, we put a little 1.5-inch strip around the outside, just kind of to frame it in and make it work. And it just, it came together really quick and easy. It's a really fun, quick project. Okay, so who's next?
I think I am.
All right, clean up my stuff.
All right, this is my little quilt. I made this little baby quilt that I just called 4 patch tumblers because we have actual 4 patches in between our tumbler shapes.
It's so cute.
I love it. I love it too. It came together really quick and it's super easy. To make my quilt, you're going to need 1 package of 5-inch print squares, and I used Stardust by Beverly McCullough for Riley Blake. You'll also need 3/4 of a yard of background fabric, and that includes your inner border, 1/2 yard of accent fabric, 1 yard for your outer border, and an additional 1/2 yard for your binding. I used the same fabric for that. And then 3 yards of backing horizontal seams, and the small Missouri Star tumbler template. So to begin with, you just need 1 package of 5-inch squares, and we're going to use the small tumbler template, and we're going to cut that entire pack into our tumbler shapes, which we've got here. And then to make these accent 4 patches, we're going to use strip sets, and these are 2 3/4 inches. So you have your accent color and your background color, and I just sewed those together all the way down the side. And then we're going to cut those into 5.5-inch strip rectangles. Then we will put these right sides together, opposite colors exactly. And we're just going to lay those like that, make sure our seams nest, and then we're going to sew 1/4 inch on either side. I actually went ahead and did that already.
You're so smart.
Just like so.
Magic.
And then we can measure over, and if you just lay this little ruler on the seam line, it's exactly in half, because we're trying to still have a 5-inch finished square here. That's what we're shooting for. And then we can press these open.
That's interesting. I think you should show that again, because you didn't lay it on the edge of the fabric.
Exactly, yeah.
You laid the ruler right next to your stitches.
Yep, I have another one ready here. So
and because it's 5.5 and you took in 1/4 inch on each side, then that makes it right down the middle. I think that's very cool.
Well,
exactly.
And my mind just went a little crazy, because now we have something that's the exact size of a charm.
Exactly.
And so by making your strip set just that 1/4 inch bigger,
it matches your charm pack
perfectly. It matches your charm pack. Ooh, whole new bunch of ideas are coming here now.
Exactly. So let's show that one more time. So here's my stitch line. You can see that's 1/4 inch from the edge of the fabric. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and...
And these rulers are 2.5. So really, if you had a normal ruler, it would just be 2 3/4.
Exactly.
Measuring from the
which
edge.
I could show on the other one. And so we're just going to lay that right on the edge and then make a cut. And that will give us our 4 patches.
Really
It's such a great hack, though. I really like that.
It is. It works. Well, I love using this little ruler, so anytime I can figure out a way to use it, that's what my brain likes to do. So then now, for the rest of this, we're just going to treat our 4 patches just like we would our 5-inch squares. The only thing you want to keep in mind is when you're cutting your tumblers out, you just want to keep your 4 patches oriented the same way. So I always
that's a mistake I would have made.
I always put my blue up and to the left every single time when I cut out my tumblers. And then you can see when we do that, it allows them to chain through.
Yeah, perfect.
If you switch it up, they won't chain like that.
Yeah,
so you have to, that's the one thing you have to pay attention to.
It would have taken me a few before I figured that out.
It took me just a second. I did make that mistake.
I do love how we have these lines on the tumbler so you can center that up on your...
Exactly. It makes it perfect for the 4-patch. So you can see these markings are on here, and we're just going to line those right up with where we sewed, and then we can cut out our tumblers. I did use a rotating mat, but you can just turn it.
Well, any rotating mat is a rotating mat if you just turn it around,
Exactly,
right?
that's right. And we'll trim that side, and it is ready to go. And then it is as simple as putting your tumblers just alternating with the 4 patches, and that's it.
It's so cute. Now, I do want to say, I saw this when you showed it to me. It was hanging the other way, and to me it looked like flower pots.
Oh, that's true.
You know, I mean, they were just, there was a lot
That
of
would be
ideas.
so cute. If it was flipped over, we could applique little flowers in there.
I mean, just a little
I
so
love
many
it.
ideas.
I
So
love
many
it.
ideas.
That's so great. I love it.
And did we say what size it finishes up?
43 by 53.
43 by 53.
And what a fast baby quilt.
Oh, super fast.
I mean, some people that we know
And so
and
cute.
love are having two babies a week.
I know.
Not the same two people, but grandmas, you know.
Yes, that's true.
So they need baby quilts, and this is a great way to get a baby quilt really quickly.
I agree. It comes together super fast. We put this little 1.5-inch inner border, and I believe this is a 5-inch outer border, and it just frames it up nicely.
And then what did you quilt this with? What is this?
This
it's curly
is,
twirly.
Yep.
Is it curly twirly flowers?
I believe
Sure
so.
is.
I love that.
So,
and look at that
really
pink
cute
backing.
pink backing.
So you can see the little flower right here. That's so cute. That's one of my favorite stitch patterns.
I love it too.
Yeah.
So
that's a
now,
good one.
I guess
All right,
you're up
Nat.
next.
Alrighty.
So Natalie, I love yours. This is so great.
Thank
adorable.
you. I called mine Tumbler Dash because I think that these look like little dashes. And I thought it was kind of a fun way to put it together. But you'll find that it's really very similar to like a lattice quilt.
Well, there's probably a million ways you could put this together, honestly.
I could have set it several different directions. I had a really hard time actually picking a layout. So
I love this, though.
I love it too, and it's when you step away from it, it's so interesting because these white lines just kind of make these boxes, and you don't even see the tumblers. It's really deceiving. I love it so much.
yeah, so if you make your own, you can play around with the layout. There's so many different things that you could do with this. So to make my quilt, you will need 3 packages of 5-inch squares, and I've used Loose Leaf by Wishwell for Robert Kaufman. You'll also need 1.25 yards of background fabric, and the outer border is 3/4 of a yard. Your backing is 3 yards, or you could have a 108 yardage, and we use this beautiful piece. You'll need 1.5 yards for that. You'll also need the small Missouri Star tumbler template. So the first thing we're going to do is take all of our charm squares and we're going to cut them on the diagonal. And for this part, it doesn't matter which direction you go because this fabric is all multi-directional. So just lay your template on there, your little ruler, and cut diagonally. And then what we're going to do is we're going to piece a strip of background fabric down the middle. Now, you can cut these pieces into 7-inch strips, and you can fold your triangle and find the middle, and fold your strip and find the middle, and all that jazz. But being the daughter of Jenny, I decided to piece mine
I just don't know what's coming next.
I know, right? I found a hack. So I just pieced my strips this way, and I actually did, to be organized, I set my pieces in 2 different piles because you want these 2 pieces then to match up.
You want them to match.
Yeah.
Right. So you keep one set in one pile and one set in the other pile. And you're going to strip piece all of the one side first.
Okay.
And then we'll press them back. And I've got a couple of other ones here we can add to our pile.
So this is one of those fun chain piecing projects.
And it's so fast.
Makes it so quick.
Right.
All right.
So those ones, those ones stay together. And actually what I did is I would go through how many would fit on my strip, which you've got 2 right here. But
I just saw that when I went to pick it up.
yeah, this fabric is very fine. It almost feels like lawn.
Yeah,
It's very beautiful and
It's
soft.
really fun though. It's so different. All right, so now right here, I'm putting this one right next to here.
That's okay. It doesn't have to be a certain amount apart because we're just going to cut them straight apart.
Okay. Oops.
Yeah.
I kind of veered on that one. Now I'm having all the troubles. Here we go.
That's okay.
One more time.
So what I did is I would get about, I think maybe 4 or 5 fit on a strip. And then I would just select those 4 or 5 and I would flip them over, because when you flip your strip, the last one that you sewed is going to be on top. And so that's how I would pick them back up, like just for a little
That's a great tip.
easy hack to like keep going without it being too tricky.
All right. Any
So
more?
you can,
one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
One more. One more piece. There we go. Oops. Do you have to be perfect on
You
these?
do not have to be perfect. These are all going to get trimmed in a different, with a tumbler ruler after. So.
Oh, okay, good.
Right. So then what
Like
I would do.
veered on that last one.
Do you want me to press
So
them back?
I actually didn't press them back until after I stitched the other side, but I wanted to show how this is going to look. So just kind of finger press it for a minute, and then what you're going to do is lay this down. Instead of stressing about, you know, finger pressing and finding middles, I just laid mine on top of it and kind of eyeballed it.
So that the points match
Sort
up.
of center it so this point matches with that point.
Are these two the same? Did I use the same 2 fabrics in the...
There's multiple,
there's multiple.
prints in this
Okay.
charms pack.
So I would be a little nervous about doing this because I'm not so good at the lining up thing. So I probably...
You're a great eyeballer. What are you talking about? You eyeball everything.
Yes.
I know, but I feel like I would fold a little middle strip and then lay it from there, you know.
Well, and if you're worried about it, you
could,
totally
yeah.
do it that way.
Right.
It's
need another
100%
piece. Well,
okay.
I'm just
So
gonna...
just practice and see how it goes.
I'm just gonna
make sure
take your,
what you want to make sure is that you have about the same amount on each side, and that this point right here, the middle point, lines up with that point.
Okay.
And then, I mean,
I'm close, right?
Yeah.
yeah. It's really forgiving because we're going to trim everything into a tumbler shape anyways.
All right. Next one is the butterflies.
Yep.
Very good.
This is the same fabric.
Sure is.
So I kind of love fabric where if you get you cut one piece out of it and it looks like it's
Completely
a
different.
completely different fabric.
Right.
Some of those larger prints that you get that quite often.
The other thing I had fun with was cutting these this way or that way.
Oh,
And
yes.
it looked different in both,
Really
both directions,
different.
which I kind of enjoyed.
All right.
So for me, this was very like easy, therapeutic. I just pushed them all through. I didn't worry too much about anything.
All right. I'll try not to worry too much about anything.
Don't worry. Okay, so now we're going to press them open, and I just pressed from the top. So
Just roll them back.
yeah, just roll them back.
There we go.
And if you'll go ahead and do all of them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now comes the fun part. We're going to cut, and we have to remember that we have an A block and a B block.
Okay.
And I didn't think that was important at first because I thought, oh, I'll just flip the tumbler and the strip will go the other way, but it doesn't. It stays going the same way. So the A block is, I believe it's this one. So we're going to cut all of the A tumblers in this direction. And what I did is I lined up in the opposite corner. So I just used this top right corner for all of my A blocks. And
so
the
when
top
you
of the
say
block.
Going
so
this
you're
direction,
cutting.
you mean this part, right?
Yes, I mean
Okay.
the strip is going top left to bottom right.
Okay.
For all of your A blocks.
Okay.
So you'll see though, like you lose quite a bit, and it doesn't really matter if it lines up exactly perfect.
I would have been nervous about, I would have been like, this has to be, this has to.
Right, now you could do that if you wanted to. You could say, oh, I want everything to line up with this bottom 1/4 inch line, but I didn't. I went with the top corner of my block.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's cool to know. So
It's nice though because it's flexible enough that you could do it however you wanted to.
Yeah.
So then we just trim these off. And I'm just going to go just a little under the arm. Don't tell anybody. And I'm going to trim that top just a tiny bit. Okay,
Awesome.
so then you're going to make, how many of those? I have a little, is it 85?
36 A blocks.
Okay, 36 A blocks.
And 85 Bs.
85 B blocks, okay. All right, so the B block just goes in the opposite direction.
So you don't have to sew anything different.
Yep, all my sewing is done now. I did all of that exactly the same, and then I just cut, a stack. We have 3 charm packs to work with, so we just made them all up and then cut 36 of one and 85 of the other. And this one gets lined up in the opposite corner. And that was just how I remembered, you know, which direction I was doing.
This is so fascinating to me.
It's really cool.
So, and if you wanted to do a different layout, like we were talking about the
like you could do
lattice
a chevron
work,
or,
you know, depending on what you did, you might need different numbers. You would maybe need half and half if you were doing chevrons.
right.
So mine just ended up differently, and I'll show you in a minute the rows, how the rows worked out. Okay. So what did we say about these? How many? Was it 85?
85B.
It's
85 B
so
blocks,
many more.
36 A blocks.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so the reason for that, and this is all you need to do to make this quilt. This is it. And the reason for that is that this row is up and down, so you need one of each in this whole row. And then this row, they all go exactly the same.
Oh.
So this is the one that you need 85. And then these ones you need only 36 because you only use every other one in each row.
And you're flipping them, right? You're
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Do you see what I'm saying? See how I thought that it would flip, but it doesn't.
It
So that's
doesn't
actually
flip, no.
the same.
It's the same block, and you have to
Wow.
use more of them in these dash rows than you do in the zigzag row.
That is so interesting.
Okay, so let's
let's
lay
lay
a
it
row
out.
out and see what happens with it.
Okay.
So let's do the.
So do you want to do, so if you're wanting to do a chevron, you'll need one of each. And those will go like this.
That's so.
Okay.
Oops, not that one. Oh.
There we go.
Yeah, it was
You're
a
up
little bit.
high. Let's go down just a little bit.
sorry.
Make sure we can get it in the camera.
It was a little bit tricky doing things,
that's
you
the
know, and you could
chevron.
do, let's see, there's so many different ways to do this. So what am I trying to do here? This one, yep.
There we
So we
go.
have the chevron and then we have the dashes.
Okay.
And so those are your two
Those
rows.
are your
so
two
you have
rows.
chevron, dashes, chevron, dashes,
That's
chevron,
exactly
dashes.
right. And then
what
create
happens
these cool
is
boxes.
they create the boxes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I love it when a layout does that.
I love that so much.
So,
That's
but then
so
if you
cool.
wanted to, you could do little X's with just different, having different,
Nope, this was the right one.
this one,
Yep.
and then this, no, yes, this way. It's a little bit tricky,
It is
but
so
you're going to have a
tricky.
lot of fun with it, I promise.
Yeah.
It's so
That is
good.
Boxes
so
and
cool.
everything.
So
It's
I
really
want to talk
cool.
about the border really quick.
Okay.
I wanted to leave this edge so that it did its tumbler shape. So I just cut solid tumblers out of my border fabric.
Great
Okay.
idea.
And then the top and bottom is 3 inches because that is the width of the narrow end of the tumbler.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
And
So it ends up looking, you know, very similar.
oh, look at that backing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
These, this backing is gorgeous.
And I love this is sticky
And
buns.
it's actually a 108. Wishwell has some really beautiful backing fabrics. So if you like the fabric, look at the backings because they're great.
yeah,
beautiful.
that
So
is
pretty.
Gorgeous.
I love it.
So
All right,
hopefully
then.
that is inspiring and fun
And
and
3 new uses for your tumblers.
new ideas for tumblers.
Exactly.
So we hope you enjoyed our triple play using the tumbler template. I think we gave them 3 great new ideas, fun and easy things. But I have one more thing to share.
A little surprise.
A little surprise. So I love this line so much. You know, I love red, white, and blue anyway. But this is a panel that comes with that line.
It's
Oh,
so
that's
cute.
adorable.
Is that not the cutest thing? And
It's
so
really
this
cute.
whole panel, it's just a panel. There's no blocks. The first little tiny star border is part of the panel. I did add the bigger outer
This
border
outer
to
one.
it. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
so quick though and so
I
cute
love
on
it.
the
So
front
quick,
porch.
so easy, and I mean, it's just perfect. So watch for this panel, you guys. That's a great little project to make for your up and coming holidays. And we hope you enjoyed this month's triple play. We'll see you later. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you are not already part of the Missouri Star Quilt family, you can hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss a thing. And if you click that bell, it'll notify you every time a new tutorial comes out. See you next Friday.